very best.
Otamendi, look at this, Claudio Bravo stepping into midfield to use his passing skills again, and troubling Alexander-Arnold again.
Alexander-Arnold has to see that much earlier.
Yeah, he's caught under the ball.
Sane has made that run the second time, he's got him behind him. It happened on several occasions last season with Alexander-Arnold. He's great going forward. He's got great awareness when he's in those forward areas. He hasn't always got that great awareness when he's defending.
Ederson has sat out the...
Serious both for Man City and Leroy Sane.
Manchester City are back in the capital for their opening Premier League game next Saturday, away to West Ham. And Jesus and Sergio Aguero wonder whether they're going to get the opportunity. Of course, it's easy to come on through the middle and Raheem Sterling go wide.
No Mahrez, of course, at the moment. Won the
he's here, isn't he? We've seen him here, but he's not in the squad today.
There are the two front players, Jesus and Aguero next to him. But he struggled to get in the side in the early part of last season, after he was actually left out of the World Cup by Germany. Guardiola didn't think his attitude was quite right. But he still ended up having a great season in terms of goals and assists.
16 goals and 17 assists in all competitions. And that wasn't enough to make him an absolute nailed-on regular.
He's already given Alexander-Arnold a really tough time in this first 10 minutes. I think he said, "I can't carry on."
You do find with younger players, they're the ones who want to carry on, particularly they don't really always have the experience to assess what their injury might mean down the road, you know. If it's a tweak of a hamstring and he plays on, 2-week recovery could become 2 months. There's no doubt Pep Guardiola wants him to stay. Sane is off. And Manchester City are in with Sterling, and they take the lead in the Community Shield. And it's the former Liverpool player who just about knocked it over the line.
Well, when we see it again, you'll see that Mo Salah goes back. The rest of the players in Liverpool's back line squeeze up to play offside, and Salah goes back with the runner on the far side of the pitch. And from that moment on, Liverpool were in big trouble. Here it goes again. Watch Mo Salah. Starts to go back in now. There's the header back across, the little flick, and a decent finish from Raheem Sterling. David Silva it was with a clever flick. Henderson couldn't quite get there, nor could the goalkeeper Alisson. Just can't get his hand down in time.
So the domestic kings are in front against the kings of Europe.
The goal they scored when they were down to 10 men, Manchester City.
Gabriel Jesus is now on for Sané, and Liverpool had totally switched off. Well, Sterling had got 2 goals here in the FA Cup final, joined by Gabriel Jesus, who also got 2. That was the dispute over the hat-trick, wasn't it, whether Sterling had got 3. It was given to Jesus in the end. Not until a couple of hours after the game was finished. Robertson gives it away. Well, there's been no denying the attacking intent right from the off for both of these notable teams.
That was his last bit of action as the centre forward. He's now gone out to the left-hand side. Raheem Sterling. Jesus playing through the middle.
Strong header forward by Otamendi, met by Robertson. Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne has got in here. Sterling getting into the box from that wider position. Liverpool don't clear it very well. Here's Rodri. Now Stones. De Bruyne too close to the goalkeeper. Ooh, and one Brazilian, little knock against the other. Alisson still has to throw out, but throw out of play.
It was really good play up until that final cross.
He was annoyed with himself, De Bruyne, because he can do better than this.
Robertson has to back off. He can't just face the ball. He must realise that De Bruyne is running in behind him. Had 2 to aim for. Good spell for Man City. I know you and I have watched a lot of pre-season games over this last few weeks. Some of them have been absolutely excellent in terms of their intensity. Played in front of big crowds. Players want to perform, and that's what's happening here.
Well, if it's not a 52 week of the year season, it's probably 49. Walker, and of course the pre-season for both these clubs involve commercial ventures. Managers can't stop that really, though they perhaps would like to. But the widening of the appeal, certainly Manchester City are probably playing catch-up to the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United in that worldwide sense. It's vital to raising the kind of money that pays the wages for these millionaire footballers and managers. And here is De Bruyne, wanted too long. Another chance on the follow-up for Manchester City. And Raheem Sterling. And Alisson suddenly finding himself a very busy goalkeeper.
Well, the best passer on the field in this first period of the game has been Bravo once again. Big diagonal, targeting Alexander-Arnold. That time it was Jesus who got in behind him.
Sterling. David Silva. Stones. 1-0 to Manchester City. Very attractive start to the Community Shield. Sterling with the goal. The nice thing about that goal, Stuart, and we're a little bit set in our ways, and I'm sure the viewers are as well. We didn't even think VAR, did we?
No.
And if it comes in when we do think it, and when the supporters think it as well, it will be an addition to the game. There's no doubt about that. But it's not something that can meddle with the game. That's a personal opinion. I'm not putting words into your mouth.
Well, it would have been looked at because it was a goal, but didn't hold up the play. Everything was okay with it. It was actually very well worked by Man City when you saw the replay.
Yeah, the 10 men, the 9 outfield players of Manchester City. And here is Bernardo Silva, David Silva rather, trying to come in on his left foot. Said it's his last season with Manchester City. What a servant he's been. Walker. Bernardo Silva. Headed out by Gomez. Had a couple of moments on the counter-attack, particularly involving Mo Salah. Is trying to beat Otamendi to this. The South American has other ideas against the King of Egypt, football-wise anyway.
Jurgen Klopp just talking to his two centre-halves. At the moment they've been totally outplayed in the wide areas, Liverpool.
Were you perhaps noting that Fabinho's not dropped in as much, which is very important with the way they use their fullbacks in their attacking sense?
Well, their fullbacks hasn't been a problem that they've been getting forward too much. They just haven't seen or been aware of balls played in behind them. Robertson twice has been ball watching as De Bruyne has made runs in behind him, or Bernardo Silva's made a run in behind him. Alexander-Arnold hasn't seen 3 balls from Bravo go over the top of his head. So I don't think it's Fabinho's problem. I think it's the two fullbacks that just haven't been good enough defensively.
Here's Henderson. Alexander-Arnold and Robertson setting all sorts of records. Premier League assists last season. His finger pointed at Liverpool's midfield from time to time, saying it's not particularly creative, but the fullbacks have made up for that. They haven't needed to be more solid rather than strategic in an attacking sense. Jurgen Klopp's midfield 3, whoever they've been. Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson. Here is Fabinho.
Another player challenging this season could be Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Who has won the Community Shield 3 times with Arsenal. He's on the bench today. Better from Liverpool until it came to the important final ball, which Firmino couldn't quite time for Salah. Sterling on the run. Gomez is quick and gets across and shepherds it out. London boy, Joe Gomez. And they've got plenty of friends and family here.
That's the best of Mo Salah.
Be interesting to see how long they play, Firmino and Salah, after the 30 minutes in midweek, 30 minutes from the start.
I suppose the good thing from Mo Salah's point of view, he hasn't had to do too much pre-season training. It was only maybe 3 weeks ago that he played that last game for Egypt when they got knocked out by South Africa.
Last week, Liverpool spent in Evian in France, nice place, very nice training camp. Alisson was there doing a lot of work. And Salah and Firmino likewise. You can get the footage these days with the club websites covering pretty much every waking moment for the players. So they got a lot of good work done in that week, as well as taking part in the game. Actually, in the game, Alisson gave away a penalty. Wasn't the best return.
It's a decent save from him there. Didn't go down too early, as Sterling was bearing down on him.
Forward by Robertson. Net by Stones. go left here. This time it's Kyle Walker who has the difficulty of full-back defending. Origi, supported by Henderson, made a nice turn but didn't take the ball with him. And Bernardo Silva winkles a goal kick out of it.
Yeah, Henderson hasn't had the best start to the game so far.
Remarkably, Stuart, this is the first of 7 trophies in Liverpool sights in the months ahead. You can add in the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup. That's the 4 domestic competitions, and of course retaining the Champions League, which they'd love to do. The Magnificent 7.
I think they'd like an improvement on last season. Maybe 2 would be enough.
Yes, I think it would. They're in trouble again. And the wide areas not make it easy for Van Dijk and Gomez in the middle. Liverpool do go and get it. Manchester City dally on the ball. Salah. Robertson. I think it would have been offside against Mo Salah. Flag didn't go up, but the instructions to the assistants, of course, are not to go too early these days.
Good recovering challenge there. Mo Salah would have been offside. That all started because Rodri lost the ball in midfield. Just don't think he's got up to the pace of the game so far. I saw another player, holding midfield player, make his debut for his debut for his club side last year in this game. Jorginho for Chelsea, if you remember.
He did.
Had a really torrid time against Man City on that occasion. Kept on winning the ball off him, took too long.
Alisson. That could have been cut out in Liverpool's half and he would have been in trouble, the goalkeeper, but it flew through, cutting the grass as it went. A lot further. Here's Stones. David Silva. Man City press. This is where pre-season finds you out, really, because the forward press takes a lot out of attacking players. And, of course, teams can start from much even deeper now. The managers will have worked on this with this ability to take very short goal kicks. Ball doesn't have to go outside the penalty area, one of the new regulations. Fabinho. Liverpool a goal down, but not heads down. Salah. Robertson. Now Virgil van Dijk on the back of an absolutely colossal season. Got the Netherlands to the Nations League final, beaten by the hosts Portugal in the end. Knocked out England in the semi-final. Rodri. He sounds like he should be playing for Wales and not Spain.
I haven't seen a forward pass for him yet. Most of it's been square or backwards.
David Silva. Finally a tricky pass, actually, under pressure to reach Sterling. Rodri stepping in, with a forward momentum from him. Away by Gomez. I was out in China watching Manchester City as part of that 4-team Asia Trophy. Pep Guardiola has had a real problem with the travel arrangements. They arrived 2 days late, only a few hours before their opening game, but they won their semi-final in that opening game against West Ham and lost on penalties to Wolves in Shanghai. They went on to Hong Kong after that, and then Yokohama in Japan, one of their affiliate clubs, I believe.
In other words, you had a nice holiday.
No, it was hotels, football grounds. Hey, that's a holiday. It was fun. It was a pleasure to watch Premier League teams have a part in the world they're playing. Here's Bernardo Silva, and that's why, with passing like that, Gabriel Jesus wanting it rolled across De Bruyne for the second time, really, not quite being able to put it on the money. Here comes the Liverpool counter-attack, led by Andy Robertson. Origi. Not cleared, and it comes back to Salah. I think after that first season, when all the goals flew in, has become even more of a shoot-on-sight player.
Origi does well just to get it on his right foot. Stones gets the first there in. Zinchenko not particularly good. He tries to take it early with the outside of his left boot. Here's the moment. Gomez and Van Dijk have to see that run. They're facing down the field. Gomez only gets back because he's got great pace. It's his mistake to start with that allows De Bruyne to get in. Again, he can't quite find the right pass.
Perfection-seeking Pep. In a world where, of course, it's impossible, but it doesn't stop you trying. And he gets as close as anybody.
I've seen a couple of Liverpool's pre-season games, and they have certainly had problems at the back. They were torn apart by Napoli.
Yes, they were absolutely. In fact, Virgil van Dijk went across, didn't he, quite publicly to not remonstrate with Jurgen Klopp, but it was a pretty heated exchange between the two during that match. Lovren and Matip are on the bench as alternatives. There's talk of maybe Dejan Lovren moving on before the window closes. Firmino will always be relied on to come back and try and sort things out when it's not going too well for the team. And he did, and he's got a free kick.
First of all, Salah loses out here, but then he does well to win it back off Sterling. Firmino, good turn to get away from the first challenge. Rodri has a go at him, and then Sterling is the player that commits the foul.
Henderson. I get there. Salah, Fabinho, not quite finding the range.
Here's the goal again. There's the first header. David Silva with the little flick, and he does well to keep it down. He doesn't go with his laces, he goes with the inside of his left boot, and it's the height that beats the goalkeeper. Just can't get his foot onto it or his hand down in time.
It is a natural thing for keepers to spread themselves in those circumstances. That means spreading the legs as well, and of course there is a gap. Whether Raheem Sterling was aiming for it, he found it. You always think, he scored so many goals now, 25 was it last season. There's Sian Massey Ellis, who's making a little bit of history today, the first woman official in a Community Shield. She's very well respected on the circuit anyway. This is a special day for her and the women's game in terms of encouraging officials to believe that they can work at this level. She's been absolutely tremendous. I'm sure others will follow her example.
There's the pace of Gomez again. It's a good ball over the top. David Silva was after it, but he was never going to beat Gomez. The trouble is, when you're as quick as Gomez, sometimes you don't read things quite as quickly because your pace will get you out of trouble, and that's been the case in this first half on 2 or 3 occasions. He's not seen the danger early enough, but his pace has got him back into a good position.
It's like tall young players not learning how to jump because they don't need to until it becomes serious, then they can't.
That's going to be a yellow card for De Bruyne. I'm not sure what he can argue with here. He say he didn't catch him, but it's a wild challenge.
Always worth the mention when Kevin De Bruyne plays at Wembley. He has family connections at Ealing, which is, what, 4 miles from here, I suppose. When he was a boy, spent holidays with various relatives based in England. Well, everyone's human.
Missed opportunity as well. Walker had gone narrow. The switch of play was a good one. He had a chance to run at Walker 1v1 and put himself inside the box.
There have been some decent moments. We saw Jurgen Klopp applauding the way they've sometimes disarmed Manchester City and the counter-attack swiftly, and Salah might have done better with a couple of chances. By Zinchenko. Rodri turning on the power. What about the pass? Well, he goes safe and short to De Bruyne. Perhaps wasn't totally grateful that the ball came to him then.
Rodri had an opportunity to play Bernardo Silva in there, who'd made a diagonal run across the front of Robertson. Maybe he just wants to ease into the game and make sure he gets his passes right.
Here's Sterling. Well, Gabriel Jesus. One thing about Rodri, if you come back to that because Salah's away, Otamendi's across. One thing about Rodri is if you have a theory about his game, you can go and ask him if you're English, because his English is superb. He charmed us all at a press conference in Shanghai. His first public utterances as a Manchester City player. He used to go to summer camps in the USA, so there's a bit of awesome in there from time to time, but whether he's going to be an awesome player, well, I hope he is for his sake and for Manchester City's sake. But he's a charming young footballer, and he's not shirking any responsibility in this Community Shield. From the back, from the champions.
It's also good play from Otamendi. The position that he took up, he realised the ball had gone to Stones. He realised that Bravo was in a left-sided centre-back position. He just made the run into midfield. Good understanding from the centre-back. Now Rodri's just sitting in for him. They'll swap over now.
The laws of the game, which are constantly changing, as we all know, as we have to study them, say that the game is played by 10 outfield players and 1 goalkeeper. They might have to look at amending that. There's never been anything to stop goalkeepers moving out of their penalty area. Sterling, again, just that hint of vulnerability with Liverpool at the back. It's not quite the same at the other end.
Threw himself at that challenge. Zinchenko didn't want it being a 1v1 situation. Got a bit lucky there.
He's been given a new contract. They have brought back Angelino from PSV. They sold a year ago. Who is an out-and-out left-back. Mendy, again not fully fit, but back with the group over the last couple of days. It's going to be a big test for, if Laporte's out for a little while at the start of the season, for Stones and Otamendi. And Company didn't play that often, did he? But obviously he finished the season so strongly in the leadership qualities in the club, not just on the field. Be hard to replace. They're still looking for a permanent captain. They're waiting for Fernandinho to come back, I'm told. Firmino's waiting in the middle, and towards him. Otamendi got the last touch, and that's why Walker's trying to prevent the corner but can't. Corner for Liverpool.
Van Dijk is usually the target for these. Firmino just trying to work for that space. First of all in front of then John Stones, and then trying to nip in behind him. Wasn't a great cross really from Origi.
Origi himself has a good natural spring. Scored a crucial goal at Newcastle very late on in the season to win a game at St James's Park. Firmino's headed a good few as well towards Van Dijk, and it's not sure what the target was from Alexander-Arnold, but it just kept on going. It's a good watch though, Stuart.
It's been an excellent game, an excellent first half, played with good intensity. Both sides have looked vulnerable to diagonal balls played in behind their fullbacks. Both sides have tried to play out from the back. I would say Man City have done it much better than Liverpool have.
Zinchenko. David Silva will be one of the candidates for the captain's role. Maybe slightly against him is the fact that this will be his last season at the club. I think they're looking for a longer-term leader, and that might rule out Fernandinho as well. Guardiola did say when we were in China that the players will decide. I'm not sure that I totally believe that. De Bruyne, well, the flag is up, and whether VAR, that's one of those where if he's proved to be onside, VAR has not worked, or the officiating hasn't worked.
No, I think he was quite clear, the assistant referee, that it was offside, so he wasn't going to mess about there, put his flag up quickly. It was a good decision. Just got to be a little bit careful, Kevin De Bruyne. He kicked the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah.
Having just been booked 5 minutes ago.
There have been a few sent off in the Community Shield in the past. Most notoriously, the very first it was a Charity Shield at Wembley in 1974. It's a disciplinary incident here. Martin Atkinson, who is a referee that doesn't go looking for controversy, I would say. He's very experienced.
Well, the Man City players aren't happy with the challenge here, nor is Guardiola.
Well, he's already lost Leroy Sané through a foul.
Yeah, Gomez goes with his stud showing, but he wins the ball. I think both players probably go. Well, actually, he goes with his laces, does David Silva. Yeah. Gomez goes with his stud showing. That's what Guardiola didn't like.
There was the ball in between.
Yeah,
in the end.
I don't see there was too much wrong with the challenge.
Stuart Atwell is the fourth official, getting the brunt of